Okay, so my phone is on 1, so I don't even know, if I have enough time to even record this. But I'm definitely gonna have to start hanging up more signs around the shelter. I already know it's gonna make the staff mad, but I mean, if you can hear any noises, my stomach is definitely making a lot of noise. I'm kind of in pain, but not really. Also, why I'm laying down like this. But yeah, anyway. It's about time for me to have to leave anyway, I think, so I guess it doesn't make a difference, but I mean, I've been hanging up signs. Of course, the staff take it down, because that's what happens in pro-abuse societies. And this one particular dude, I already confronted him before, and I'm definitely gonna have to, say something to him again. I'm trying to get everything together for everything I need to tell him. And that's the thing. I mean, I don't really care if it has to get violent. It just wouldn't be able to happen in the shelter, though. I'd have to fight him somewhere else. But, I mean, reality is, if you're not willing to risk your life for the truth, then you're not, one, you don't believe what you say you do. So there's that. And, I couldn't even tell if it was him or not. But I forget that, my pallet is near the family shelter part. So sometimes the kids go out there, and so I hear his babies crying. They honestly cry all the time, to be truthfully honest. They're really always crying. And that's one thing that he commonly seems to be getting mad at them about, because they're always crying. Which is definitely because of, their situation with him and whatever happened to their mom. Because they cry a lot. Definitely more than the other babies around here who don't have all the crap going on that they do with their dad. So, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I hear them crying at the park, and then he's getting mad at them for crying. And then my neighbor was screaming, "You be nice," and all that stuff, and she was screaming about fighting him. Probably didn't hear her anyway, though. And yeah. And like I keep saying, it's always going to be really annoying to me, because I hate how that dude and his wife, they used to stay here, when the shelter dumped them out, they tried to threaten them and say that they were going to call CPS on them, because the dude and his wife were asking them to do their job and help them get housing. And of course, they wouldn't. And it's like, you guys have let other babies walk around here, from what I heard, with scars on their face or slap marks or something. I can't even really remember what the story is, but I mentioned in this other video titled Foster Kid Cognitive Dissonance, and it's like, you guys let actual abuse go on and you don't want anybody to speak on it. You don't even want anybody to really say anything about the fact you even have convicted child molesters and stuff running around a family shelter and just tell people that their kids can't come outside if they're under 18, because you don't want to get sued if anything happens. So you guys don't want anything said or done about this, but then you'll threaten to call CPS on some people for asking you to do your job. And they were a breath of fresh air to me, really, because it's rare to really see people who aren't constantly abusing their kids in some form or fashion, to be truthfully honest. And, yeah, but that dude, he definitely just shouldn't have ever had kids in the first place. Like, the other day, we were at the street cleanup crews place that I kind of don't go to anymore because of a whole bunch of bullcrap with them, and me not really having time to go. But I did go recently, and then I don't remember exactly what happened, but his babies got mad at him, and then they said "F you," which that's a common thing. I've seen them do it like 2-3 times since then at the shelter. So it's obviously that's what they're hearing all the time, or they heard it all the time between their mom, whatever happened with her and their dad, because they say it a lot. And it's almost like one of the only things they can really say. And that same day while we were at that place, something had happened, and he was saying that something about his kids acting funny because they're around a whole bunch of tweakers. First of all, that's bull crap. And I mean, it's not like they're sitting around watching the tweakers unless you're hanging around them. And that was just really crazy for him to say anyway, because looking at him, it's hard to believe he's not on drugs, because that's the impression he's trying to push, or at least that he hasn't been. Like, just, I mean, I know, like, sometimes people are born certain ways, but I don't know. He looks like he is or has been on drugs. It's hard for me to believe that he isn't. So that was really a wild comment to make. And also to blame your kid's behavior on other random people. That's also really weird. It was just funny to me that he had the nerve to say that he was like something, 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 and you guys are acting this way because you're always around a whole bunch of effing tweakers. First of all. But yeah, then he has these little anger meltdowns, kind of like my mom's boyfriend used to have, but I believe his are because of drugs. So basically, he has these things that look like narcissistic rage freakouts, and then he'll drive off in the car all crazy too. Also, could have something to do with like whatever drugs he's on. Obviously, it almost seemed like he was deflecting with the tweaker comment. And so yeah, I just know that he better be prepared. And I don't really know if I have anything else to say about that. One thing I can say, though, is that the shelter staff, of course, just watch all these scenarios go down. And the police do, too, when they're here for whatever different reasons. Because, I mean, of course, the only thing the police, especially around here, care about is harassing homeless people. And, of course, they're never going to care about any real issues anyway, because they're in on the trafficking, they're in on the prostitution, they're in on all that stuff. So there really is nothing else for them to do but harass homeless people and assault people, to be honest. I'm trying to think about if I have anything else to say. But yeah, anyway, this dude just seems like somebody who's really just annoyed with having babies, and it really just makes me wonder, why did he have kids in the first place? I also wonder what the whole situation was, because obviously him and their mom aren't together since she's not around. I don't even know if she's really alive or not. Probably they probably just had a whole bunch of bullcrap go down where they had a fallout, to be truthfully honest. Because I'm sure just by how he acts that the relationship wasn't good, and that they shouldn't have ever had kids in the first place. What else to say? But yeah, the first time I confronted him, I meant to say something about the fact that all he's doing is setting his kids up to be out here just like he is and everybody else. Because, I mean, what he's doing right now, stuff like that is the reason why everybody who's out here is out here. The whole bunch of family bull crap and trauma. Like, literally, if it wasn't for people like him, none of us would be out here. He wouldn't even be out here, I bet. Well, not I bet, I know. And I'm trying to think of anything else to say. Also, this other dude here, who definitely seems to like less. I don't even know how to put it. He seems like he's not on drugs. I was about to mess the whole sentence up. But they still like pretty similar. Somewhat. But definitely both their kids have like some trauma from whatever even happened in their relationship. that where their mom isn't around. And so, wait a minute, what was I about to say? I need to hurry up though because this is about to power off. I'm surprised it hasn't already. But wait a minute, let me pause this. Oh yeah, so something that I've noticed is him and the other dude that I was just mentioning both remind me of my mom's boyfriend in a way. And it's like, it just makes me wonder how they act behind closed doors. Now, not full blown like him, but I do wonder how they act behind closed doors. Like, they both have had these little scenarios where they've gotten mad at the shelter staff and were running around talking junk and stuff because, don't even remember what happened, but the shelter staff got mad at them because of something that they did that they weren't supposed to do. And the situation makes sense, but with how much these people already don't care and just see you as a dollar sign running around yelling about it or at them isn't going to make anything better. And if you act like that, how do you expect your kids to act? Not that I've really seen their kids do anything. I mean, other than the other dude that I was mentioning first and his baby saying F you, but I mean, obviously that's a learned behavior. And I don't know what it is, but it's like this racial thing where I don't know. It's like when quote unquote white kids go through the domestic violence and that type of trauma, they'll sometimes end up cursing out their parents. But that's really not a common thing with quote unquote black kids. That's something people talk about a lot. I don't know why. And of course, I'm not saying like it's their fault. Obviously, it's just a learned behavior, but that's just something funny that people talked about a lot, and I didn't really like notice it that much until I really actually was around quote unquote white people. Because of course, like, I mean, when you're on certain sides of redlining, you really aren't around other groups. Or at least certain groups, I'll say that. But yeah, so, and also the second dude that I was just mentioning, whose kids are a little older, they're not like babies, or at least half of them aren't. Who I know he specifically was mad at the staff about something one day and was talking to the cafeteria people about it. He's the same dude where the whole scenario had went down in the cafeteria where people started saying some bullcrap about his son because he was mad at his son because he wouldn't get the tables. No, oh my gosh. He wouldn't get the food from him to take it to the table. I'm like kind of dissociated because I'm thinking about the situation, but it honestly really just seemed like he was more so scared to get up to get them, but he did look really mad too. And the look on his face reminded me of my nephew. And so, of course, when I see things like this and when people who have been through these same things see things like this, you can completely piece the situation together because you've seen it all before. So you can understand exactly what's going on. And yeah, anyway, but that's the same dude from that whole video where this one dude started talking about how kids don't respect their elders and you can't beat your kids in public anymore and a whole bunch of crazy stupid bull crap. And it's like, you're not even a real elder. How are you talking about somebody respecting your elders when you're like 50 dating like a 19-year-old or something? And a dude at that, a boy. And it's like, you're not even a real elder. People like you will make somebody, quote unquote, not respect their elders, whatever that really means. There aren't even really real elders anymore. Definitely not around here, not many. And I don't mean homeless community, I mean like in general. I'm talking about like just society. It's hard to find a real elder. It's hard to find a real elder to even go to and get real advice from because they're either deep into the brainwashing and social conditioning or they're quote unquote minding their business, which is also a form of being deep into the brainwashing and social conditioning where you don't care about anybody but yourself. I mean, really. It's like you try to find an elder to talk to, and they're talking about some stupid Megan the Stallion type stuff. No real elders. Just not a lot. Barely any real anybody, to be honest. But yeah, that's pretty much it.